Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to Adda247. And in this session, we are going to discuss with you some of the most important questions, most expected question for APSC examination, which is coming on 24th of November 2018. However, let me tell you, if you are appearing for any other state PCS examination, or SSC CGL or CHSL, MTS, etc., then also this session is equally important for you. Why? Because the questions that we have picked up are really very important, right? So good evening to everyone. I hope we are ready to begin with this session. एक बार जल्दी से लिख दीजिए कि यहाँ पे साउंड क्लियर है और हम इसको स्टार्ट करने के लिए बिल्कुल रेडी है. Okay. Shivam Namdev, there was a reason behind that, but no issue, we are back again with this session. So let's start this session, right? Chaliye. So let us begin with the first question on our screen without wasting any time. So the first question is, Zojila Pass is situated in Zojila, Nathula, Shipkila. These are some of the important passes and they are asking you on the basis of state. So the Zojila Pass is situated in Jammu and Kashmir. So your answer is option number A. The next one is Tungabhadra and Bhima are the tributaries of. They are asking that they are the tributaries of. The tributary is the one that puts the water into the main river. Distributary is one that carries away the water from the main river. Say for example, Indus and its tributaries. When we say Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Vyas, Satluj, these rivers put in their water to river Indus. So Indus and its tributaries, right? So what is the correct answer? Tungabhadra is a very famous tributary of which river? Of river Krishna. So the answer is option number C. So I hope you guys are also getting the answers correct here, right? विनय शुक्ला 24 नवंबर को इसका एग्जाम है, इसीलिए तब तक हम इन क्वेश्चंस को कर रहे हैं, विच इज़ बेस्ड ऑन सम ऑफ द इम्पॉर्टेंट प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस. ठीक है, उसके बाद हम आपके सजेशन को बिल्कुल कंसिडर करेंगे आफ्टर 24th of November. ओके, लेट्स कम टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. नॉर्थ कसार हिल्स इज नोन फॉर द लाइमस्टोन. इन असम रेड सॉइल is the main feature of which one of the following? So red soil is the main feature of the North Kasar Hill area. Which of the following combinations is mainly concentrated in single slate of North-East India? So there are three tribes also and there are three hill lines also which are known as Garo Hills, Khasi Hills and Jaintia. So this is the question that they are asking, very famous in Meghalaya. So the Garo, Khasi, Jaintia. So your answer will be option number B. India's permanent research station Dakshin Gangotri is located in. So India's permanent research center is in Antarctica, option number D. The next one is PSLU-14 is the largest space quest had carried OceanSat 2 with how many foreign nano satellites? So how many foreign nano satellites? See, just like recently, before some time also we had launched another approximately 140 satellites we had launched in one go. Similarly, this one was when we launched the nano satellites. So we had launched 6 nano satellites previously in one go. So this is your option number B. The next question is National Sugar Institute is located in. This question was also asked in UPPCS. So your answer is it is located in Kanpur, option number C. Repeated question from other state to other state. In India, first telegram line, then generally this is a trend of SSC, but this is also a trend which is seen in the state PCS examination. So the first telegraph line was initially it was started between Calcutta and Diamond Harbour. So this is not there in any of the options. So the next one is your Calcutta and Agra. So we have to go with option number C in this case. If you require extra time to go through the questions, right, then please pause it, pause करना video and then try it. Okay. Time का पता ही नहीं चलता है. No problem. Normally on 8 we start this show. 8 बजे. ठीक है. The next question is India's first supercomputer is. इंडिया का सबसे पहला सुपर कंप्यूटर का नाम परम है, बट दोनों ऑप्शंस में परम है, दैट इज परम 2000, परम 8000. सो योर आंसर इज परम 8000. notice that I have noticed one thing, এটা বস্তু যেটো লক্ষ্য কৰিছো, in your APSC examination, whenever they are asking you date, they want you to know the exact date, right? The options are very, very close. So, if you know Param, that is not enough, you have to know exactly which one. So, more of a fact based sometimes when it comes to dates. So, India's first remote sensing satellite IRS-1A was launched from, you all know Sriharikota is a very famous site for launch, but then the first one was from Baikonur, and the first vehicle that we used was a bullock cart. Good, right? Represents the agriculture population of India. Then, since we all are actually in heart, we all are farmers, right? So, that is the reason. Which was the first Indian satellite that was launched from Soviet Cosmodrome in 1975. So, it could be Aryabhatta, right? Very famous. So, what is your answer? Option number A, that is Aryabhatta. The next one is, where was India's first computer installed? Very important questions. These first questions are very important for SSC examination also. So, obviously, who will require a computer? When a lot of data is there, बहुत सारा data होने से we need a computer, and you see statistical institute, you have a lot of data, so you need to do a lot of work. The next one is, recently India's largest solar power plant. There could be another question now if they ask you 2018, largest solar power park. What will be your answer if they ask you about the park, right? You have Rajasthan in option as well. So, you all tell me in the comment box if they ask you about Bharat. Am I really going very fast? Okay, I will slow down the pace. But I wanted to cover 100 questions within 1 hour, so that was the reason. Okay, I will try to slow down my pace, okay. So, if we go for park, then in that case, your answer would be Rajasthan. But here they are asking about the plant. So, our answer will be Madhya Pradesh. But if you do not find both together in the option, then your job will be easy, right. Come to the next question. Which of the following satellites help to telecast TV network program all over the country? So, TV network problem, this is done by your INSET 1B. There can be another similar question from the layers of the atmosphere: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and then ionosphere. They can ask you which of the following layers of the atmosphere is responsible for reflecting radio signals. So, your answer will be, there are lot of ions in the ionosphere, but nowhere it is mentioned, right. So, it will be ionosphere, right. Troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere / ionosphere, then exosphere. So, it will be your ionosphere. If not, ionosphere is not mentioned, then you go for thermosphere. Come to the next question. Rajat Rangini was written by Kalhana, is a story of the king of Rajat Rangini, very famous. Who wrote it? They have already said that Kalhana wrote it. So, it was the famous story of the king of Kashmir. The Tatar tribe inhabits in which part of the world? In option, it would have been better if Mongolia was mentioned, but Mongolia is not mentioned in the option. So, the most correct answer will be none of the above. Some people also take in Siberia in this question, but Mongolia would be the most appropriate answer to this question. Salsa, a popular form of social dance, originated from Cuba, not mentioned in the answer. So, if Cuba is not mentioned, what will be your answer? If Cuba is not mentioned, what will be your answer? If Cuba is not mentioned, where is Cuba? It is in America, right? There is a small mistake here. So, it would be in America. Let us come to the next question. Aikibana is a Japanese art of, this was a question asked in UPSC as well. So, Aikibana is a art of generally flower management. They decorate the flowers in this, okay, particular thing. So, what will be your answer? It is flower arrangement. It is your flower arrangement. Flower arrangement. This is known as your Aikibana. Come to the next question. Which tribe of Northeast celebrates the Malmaka festival? Malmaka festival is celebrated by the Garo tribe. An important question normally they ask you in APSC is which festival is being celebrated by whom? The author of Prahlada Charitra is Prahlad Charitra author kun hoy? So your answer is Hema Saraswati. The next is Raja Harishchandra, remember earliest. An early Indian film was produced by, you all must be knowing about Dada Saheb Phalke award. So your answer is option number A, that is Dada Saheb Phalke. I hope everybody is okay with the pace and everybody is able to understand. Right? Let's come to the next question. Ugadi is a popular festival of, it is a popular festival of Andhra Pradesh. My first answer, but not mentioned, so I will go for Karnataka. Name the author of the famous book Cha Gorom, the tea story. So, your options are Maniram Dewan, Arup Kumar Dulla is there. So, your answer is here option number C, that is Arup Kumar Dulla is the correct answer to this question. Let's come to the next question. Name the capital of Ahom kingdom at different eras, different time Ahom kingdoms. So, Saraideo, Gorgao, Jorhat. C is the correct answer. One of the first Barbaruas of Ahom kingdom also achieved a memorable reputation. Name both father and son duo. That is, father was also very famous, son was also very famous, right? And both belong to obviously the Ahom kingdom. Dehotkoi Momai Dangor Nohoy. So, Lachit Barphukan and Momai Tamuli Barbarua. Who built the Charminar of Hyderabad and on what occasion? Repeated question from other state PCS. So, Charminar was built by Muhammad Quli Qutb Shah. And only in one option you have Muhammad Quli Qutb Shah, right? So, your answer is option number C. Dimapur, the capital of Kachari kingdom, was occupied by which Ahom king? So, Dimapur was occupied by Suhumong. So, your answer is option number C. The post of Barbarua and Barphukan were created by, who created this? Again, in the option you have Pratap Singha. So, your answer is option number B, that is Pratap Singha. Now, these questions are directly from no, Shalija Sharma, not all the questions are essential for your other, you can say, banking examination specially, because these are most important for your APSC examination. The Ashoka Pillar at Allahabad provides information about the reign of. So, the Ashoka Pillar of Allahabad provide information about the Samudra Gupta. So, it provides information about option number C, Samudra Gupta. Aini Akbari, very easy one, right? It was written by Abul Fazl. The Kamakhya temple was rebuilt by Naranarayan. So, option number C, fact based question, direct question. Permanent settlement in India was introduced by. So, who introduced the permanent settlement? So, Lord Cornwallis is there in the option. So, your answer is option number C, that is Lord Cornwallis. Let us come to the next question. When did British government take, let us come on the full screen once. Okay, no, on the questions. Okay, actually we have another PPT as well after your question number 50. So, till then let us do this, then I hope on the screen we will be able to come to the next set of questions, right. Okay, so let's come back to the PPT. When did British government take over the reign of India from East India Company, and during that time who was the first viceroy? So, they are asking you that the revolt of 1857 happened, okay. The revolt of 1857 happened. After the revolt, the rule was transferred to the crown, right. And then what you have is the Government of India Act, and then it was the crown rule in your 1858, right. So, if you look into these options, then you have two options, that is B and D, out of which your correct answer is option number B. The moral of the story is at least you can eliminate these two, right. At least you can eliminate these two because it is 1858. Revolt happened. So, the queen became sure, see, you are doing the revolt, so you are not eligible, let me rule now. So, that was the thing. In which year Kushal Konwar was hanged by the British and what cause? Three things. 1920 and then Chauri Chaura 1922. names related from Assam. 1930, names related from Assam. 1942, names related from Assam. One of the three questions are very important. So, Kushal Konwar was hanged, Quit India movement 1942, right. So, only one option I have 1942, that is the option number C. Next question, who was the Ahom king in Assam during the mutiny of 1857? So, 1857 mutiny time, who was the Ahom king in Assam? Now, in no option do I have Purandar Sinha. So, in that case, I will go for option number D, that is none of these. However, in some of the textbook, you can also see that they have mentioned about Khondeswar Sinha. What do you think the answer would be? You can mention it in the comment box as well, right. Sujit Kumar is saying that you should like the session as well. Who was the first Assamese to join the Indian National Congress during the second session held in 1886? So, during that time, Gopinath Bordoloi was the first Assamese to join. Also, Devicharan Barbarua also joined it, but I have to select one. So, that is the case. The next is, which freedom fighter of Assam refused to accept Tamra Patra and said, whatever I did was for my country, I did not do it for anything else, right. So, she said that with all my profound sense and gratitude to the well-wishers, I would like to say humbly that I did not take part in the Indian freedom movement in an intention to get something in return. I just participated in it because I wanted to participate. So, who said this very famous statement? So, this statement was said by Pushpalata Das, that is option number B. Let us come to the next question, who was the first president of the Muslim League? So, the first president from the Muslim League was your Agha Khan. Subhash Chandra Bose gave Mahatma Gandhi the title of Father of the Nation. So, the answer is option number C, Subhash Chandra Bose. So, before the next time you say that Subhash Chandra Bose did not believe in the Mahatma Gandhi's way, but Father of the Nation tag was also given by Subhash Chandra Bose. The first roundtable conference happened in 1930, we all know that. Then 1931, there was the first, there was the second, and then there was the third roundtable conference, right. So, one question from the roundtable conference can also be asked. The first woman president, if they ask you about the first woman president, your answer will be Annie Besant. If they ask you about first Indian woman president, then your answer will be Sarojini Naidu. They have asked you about the first. So, the answer is Annie Besant, option number B. Now, there are some questions from your reasoning part that I won't be solving here. Let me come to the next question directly. These are your reasoning questions. So, let us start from here. Okay. So, I have a next set of PPT. Let me go to the next set of PPT now. Okay. So, now let us come back to the board. Okay. So, now from question number 52, we will be discussing here. Okay. So, the next question is, which Lok Sabha elections resulted in a hung parliament? Which Lok Sabha elections resulted in a hung parliament? So, you have the options of 91, 96 and the 1999. So, you have to give the correct answer. Soumya Reddy is saying the option number 2 is the correct answer. Anybody for option number C? So, it is the 11th Lok Sabha, that is your 1996. How many states are there in the Indian Union? We all know that after Telangana, the latest state, we have 29 states in the Indian Union and 7 union territories. The governor of the state is an integral part of. So, a very famous question from your parliament and state legislature. Parliament, there is the Lok Sabha, there is the Rajya Sabha and the president. The president is an integral part of the parliament. Similarly, in the state legislature, there is the legislative assembly. Only 7 states have the legislative council. What are those? UP, Bihar, Jammu and Kashmir, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka and Madhya Pradesh, right. So, out of this only Governor is the integral part of the state legislature. So, your answer will be option number C, right. Let's come to the, Maharashtra. Let's come to the next question, that is, which one of the following is a condition for a political party to be approved as national party to election? So, for a political party to be a national party, 6 seats in the Lok Sabha, okay, then there is 11 seats in the Lok Sabha from at least 3 states. So, A is the correct answer. If a political party, say Aam Aadmi Party wants to become a national party, so they must have a minimum of 11 seats in the Lok Sabha from the last 3 states, from at least 3 states. The next is, which one of the following is not a fundamental right in India? So, there one word is missing here in this one. There was your right to property was there in this one. So, right to property, initially it was a fundamental right. We had 7 fundamental right. Now we have 6, because right to property has been removed. It is not a fundamental right anymore. It is a legal right under Article 300A. Let's go to the next question. Who is known as father of local self-government? So, Lord Ripon is known as the father of local self-government. Repeated question. National emergency was declared in India for the first time. So, for the first time it was declared in 1962. So, A is your answer to this question. Let's come to the next question. The Mandal Commission to recommend a reservation for up to backward classes. Okay, so Mandal Commission, when did it gave recommendation about the reservations? Now, the options are very close here, right. 1962, 1977 is also there, 1979 is also there. So, your answer will be 1977. Let's go to the next question. By whom Vice President of India is elected? So, they are asking you about the Vice President. They can ask you about the President or they can ask you about the Vice President. In the election process of the President, the elected members, not the nominated members, of both the houses of the Parliament, that is the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, will participate. And then the elected members of the state legislature assembly, state legislative council won't take place, state legislative assembly will take place, and then the elected members of the legislative assemblies of Delhi and Puducherry will participate. However, in the removal of the President, both the elected and nominated members will participate. In the Vice Presidential election, only the members of the Parliament will participate. So, look at this one, the President of India, no, members of the Parliament will participate, right. So, your correct answer is the members of the Parliament. Let's come to the State Legislative Assembly won't participate. So, that is why D won't be the answer. What is the maximum gap of time between 2 sessions of the Parliament and also the State Legislative Assembly? So, the maximum gap can be of 6 months. And if there is an ordinance according to Article 123, if the President promulgates an ordinance, then in that case this 6 months plus after when the Parliament comes back there is another 6 weeks. So, 6 months, 6 weeks. After that, that is the maximum period of a ordinance passed by the President when the Parliament is not into function. Who administers the oath of office of the President of India and the Governor of the state respectively? So, the President's oath is taken by the Chief Justice of India, administers the oath of the President, and obviously for the Governor, what will it be? This is a very easy thing to do. Compare union with state. If there is President in one side, there will be Governor in one side. If there is Chief Justice of India in one side, then there will be the Chief Justice of the High Court in the other side. So, the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, no, Solicitor General, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of India and the Chief Justice of the High Court of the state. So, C is the correct answer. In absence of the Chief Justice of India, the senior most judge can take the oath. So, he can administer the oath. Who is the chairman of the Planning Commission and the National Integration Council of India? Planning Commission chairman is the Prime Minister of India. Prime Minister of India. And similarly, if there is any state council etc., then the Chief Minister will be the chairman. Say for example, if they ask you about the State Planning Commission, for the State Planning Commission, the Chief Minister will be the chairman, and for the National Planning Commission, the Prime Minister will be the chairman. Okay, for any interstate council, the Prime Minister will be the chairman and the states' chief ministers will be just the members. The Constitution of India has not provided which one of the following legislative offices. Home Minister is there, Deputy Prime Minister is not there, has not provided for the Deputy Prime Minister. See, there is the, in Union there is the President, similarly in state there is the Governor. Then there is the Vice President in the Union Executive, then there is the Vice President, there is nobody in the State Executive, counterpart of the the Vice President in the State Executive, nobody is there. Then there is the Prime Minister, there is the Chief Minister, there is the Council of Minister, there is the State Council of Minister, there is the Attorney General, there is the Advocate General, right. So, this is the correct sequence. The next is China declared Sikkim as an integral part during the Prime Ministership of, this is not very old. So, this was during the time of P.V. Narasimha Rao. See, 24/7 the classes are running on. So, whatever classes you want to attend for reasoning and for whatever other classes you want to attend, you can attend that, right. Okay, there is one small correction that I will like to do here. For the Mandal Commission, the answer is not 1977, the answer is your 79, okay, the answer is your 79. So, please make that small correction. The next question is your India's look-east policy was started by, so who was the Prime Minister during which time we started the India's look-east policy? So, we started it during the time of P.V. Narasimha Rao. We started this during the time of P.V. Narasimha Rao, and Sikkim was an integral part of India during the time of, during whose time we accepted it. So, we accepted it during the time of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. During Atal Bihari Vajpayee, China accepted that okay, Sikkim is an integral part of India. So, this was during the time of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and look-east policy was started by or during the time of the Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao, and now during the time of Modi Sarkar, it is in a very hype. Who presides over the joint sitting of both the houses of the parliament? The Speaker of the Lok Sabha presides during the joint sitting of both the houses of the parliament. Joint sitting happens in case of very important thing when you have to decide, and whatever the president does, like the president dissolves the Lok Sabha, the presidents arrange for the joint sitting, or whatever the president does, he does it after the advice of the Prime Minister, right. The next is the first non-Congress Prime Minister. Who was he? He was your Morarji Desai was the first non-Congress Prime Minister. Okay, what is the correct sequence, chronological order in which following states of India were created? The first state to be created on the basis of language, on linguistic basis, 1956 ke baad, the first state to be created was Andhra Pradesh. So, I have 1, 2, 3 options with Andhra Pradesh. Then the next state in this sequence is your Punjab. So, in 2 options I have Punjab. So, I come to 50-50 here, and B is the correct answer to this question. So, the state Mizoram, ATMM, Assam, Tripura, Meghalaya, Mizoram. So, Mizoram was the last one in this sequence. Any trick you can use and you can remember. Okay. So, the next question is Love in the Time of Cholera was a novel written by, who is the writer or author of this novel? Ma'am, will you conduct few days class for Assam Police SI? Okay, let's see. So, the correct answer to this question is Gabriel Garcia. So, D is the correct answer. The next question is, in the history of Indian Navy, one serving chief of staff was removed from office while one had resigned. Their names in sequence are, so Joshi was the name of the person who had resigned, and Bhagwat. So, Bhagwat and Joshi. So, C is the correct answer. According to the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, which country is the biggest importer of arms in the world? India. We are the biggest importer. We import it. Made in India. If it would have been made in India, then it would have been more better. And currently, we are importing the largest from USA. Previously, we were importing the largest from Russia. Now we are importing from US. And you all know that the Rafale deal is in the court now. Christian Lagarde, who recently headed G20 meeting of finance ministers and governor of central banks, is from which country? This is a Purana question, but still we have this question. So your answer is option number C, that is France. The next question is, the number of countries contested in Football World Cup 2014, they are asking. 2016 is a UPPCS question. So answer is your 32. Which country has the distinction of hosting two major global sports events in 2014 and 16 respectively? FIFA World Cup 2014 and Olympics 2010. So for both, your Brazil is the correct answer. So C is the correct answer to this question. RUSA has been recently formulated to look after the funding of higher education. So A is my correct answer. In India, National Science Day is observed on the last day of February. That is your 28th February is the National Science Day. Songo, Rumtek Monastery and Nathula Pass. Remember, they asked you Zojila Pass, Jammu and Kashmir, Nathula Pass, Sikkim. So C is the correct answer. Rumtek Monastery is also very important. The next one is the major sources, the major success, what major success our country has achieved in the field of health in March this year. So it was long back, so that time for which one of the following we are famous? You must be knowing that India is a polio free country now. Amitabh Bachchan maybe उन्होंने इतना ज़्यादा एडवर्टाइज किया दो बूंद जिंदगी की that India is now a polio free country. India changed over the decimal system of coinage during the year. Again a question, you have to know exactly which year. So it was in 1957. Which document is conventionally placed before the Indian Parliament on the last working day of the month of February? Now it is the budget that you place, the union budget, which you place on the last working day of February. The next is, which among the following is the oldest public sector bank in India? Which is the oldest public sector bank, PNB or Allahabad Bank? Your answer is option number C. Which one of the following is not subsidized in India? We get LPG subsidies, ये तो पता ही होगा, अभी बहुत ज़्यादा जोश शोश में है, everywhere there is a poster, so we give LPG subsidies. Kerosene subsidies we give, diesel we give, petrol we do not give. There is no petrol subsidy in India. The next is, which one of the following Mahatma Gandhi series of currency notes issued by the RBI has the drawing of Parliament House depicted in it? So it is the 50 rupees ka note that has a Parliament House. If you have not seen, then you can check it. The next is the largest source of power supply. We have a lot of potential to draw it from the hydroelectric, but we do not do it. At present, the largest source is still the thermal power, for which you are using coal, which is a non-renewable energy, which can get over very soon and also contribute to pollution. However, we have a lot of potential for hydroelectric power, so we should, look into more about that. The monetary policy of India is formulated by monetary policy and then fiscal policy. M for monetary, M for money, so it's RBI. Fiscal policy, money with RBI. So who does the monetary policy? The Reserve Bank of India. That is the CRR, cash reserves ratio, the SLR, statutory liquidity ratio, etc. And if they ask you about fiscal policy, then the government. The next is the cooperative credit societies have. So the cooperative credit society are your 1 tier, 2 tier, 3 tier or 4 tier. So this is the 4 tier. So your answer here will be option number D, that is the 4 tier, right? RBI, yes, correct. Fiscal is government. So D is the correct answer here. The next question is, the government of India earns maximum revenue from. So maximum revenue is from the given options, it is your corporate tax. So money comes from here. The next is, in the last 1 decade, which one among the following sectors has attracted highest foreign direct investment, highest FDI? You must have seen a lot of Bahar ka company comes to India, establishes the unit here, gives jobs to people in India, especially especially the MNCs, multinational companies that works in the service sector, the IT sector. Why? क्योंकि इंडिया में अंग्रेजी बोलने वाले लोग बहुत है and at a lesser price. So Modi had also given another proposal कि the entire northeast, many people in the northeastern regions are also able to speak English. So you should have lot many MNCs in the northeast region as well. The next is the 11th 5-year plan aimed to achieving 10% rural tele density in India from the existing 1 to 9%. So this question is not exactly correct. So we are going to skip this question because this data is not exactly correct here. The next is your Professor Mahalanobis name is associated with first year plan, second year plan. Second year plan is also known as Mahalanobis plan. So the answer is option number B. The next is a recommendation of which of the following committees are followed for estimating the poverty line of India. Poverty line, how many people are below the poverty line? So how do you estimate this poverty line? This is done by Lakhadwala committee. So the option number A is the correct answer to this question. If they ask you BPL line, if they ask you, nahi baad mein, abhi, okay. If they ask you about the BPL line, then different, which was asked in UPPCS as well. If they ask you about the poverty line, then different. National Horticulture Mission. What is horticulture? When you give importance to the fruits mostly, that is known as your horticulture. And this we wanted to, or we have started this from the 10th plan. Again, the northeastern regions has a lot of, especially pineapple in the Shillong region, but you sell it for 20 rupees per piece. It's better if you are able to convert it to juice, pickle, etc. and then sell it in the market. In the 11th 5-year plan of India, the largest allocation was given to, education as well, which is not there in the options. So the first answer would have been education. Now since education is not given in any of the option, out of whatever options it is given, we have invested more on agriculture. Though the share to the GDP of agriculture is somewhere around 15%, but since 50% se zyada people are engaged in the agriculture sector, we must give importance to this. Another question, this is from the layers of the atmosphere. Layers, I have already told you, take some milk, then egg. Troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, ionosphere, and then the exosphere. The air temperature cease with, the air temperature decreases with. The question was the air temperature decreases with. So if they ask you about decreases with, then in the troposphere, higher you go, cooler you feel. So it decreases with the troposphere. If they ask you increases with, then in the stratosphere, the high, as you go up in stratosphere, the temperature increases. And if they ask you decreases, then here it decreases. Here the temperature decreases as you go up. Stratosphere, the temperature increases as you go up. Mesosphere, the temperature is always, approximately minus 100 degrees Celsius or minus 90 degrees Celsius. That is why the meteors get cooled down. Thermosphere, again, it increases very high temperature. So if they ask you decreases, then you take on troposphere. If they ask you increases, then you take on stratosphere. The next is identify the continent of the world which has the highest percentage of area under plains. Asia is the largest, so the highest percentage also in Asia. The next question is the largest fish exporting region of the world. North America, South America, Eurasia, Africa, and then you have Australia. The Japanese countries are importing a lot from India or the Asian region, and here the Atlantic region, which is also the busiest region. Why it is very busy? Because a lot of trade are happening in this route. So Northeast Atlantic region, here the exports are happening. I don't know why they are asking you about Sofia again, but this is a repeated question from APSC, and your answer is Bulgaria. Sofia is the capital of Bulgaria, right? So A is the answer. The next question is the Eastern Ghats and the Western Ghats meet at, so they meet at the Nilgiri hills. So A is the correct answer. And I am happy about the fact that I was able to complete the 100 questions except the reasoning question in this session, right? So I hope this session was really it was very useful for you guys. especially if you are going to appear for the APSC examination. And whatever are your suggestions, you want me to go in a slower pace or whatever is the suggestion, please mention them in the comment box and I will implement them from tomorrow 8 p.m. The second part we will implement it tomorrow. So, we have a class tomorrow, that is 20 on 21. So, there will be 3 expected question session. Today was the first part of the expected question, tomorrow will be the second part and day after tomorrow will be the third part, right? And then you can do the revision and on 24th of November you have the examination. Thank you so much, take care and have a good night. Bye-bye.